On this week's Tony and Josh show, Darwin Awards are always fun, but occasionally we have to hand out Parent of the Year award. Chris Farley might be dead and gone, but his line of "in a van down by the river" is getting new life, and not in a good way.
Jared Fogle, the guy from Subway, is in deep trouble. Apparently he can't keep his 6-inch out of the mouths of kids.
How dare you.
And speaking of holes, one good hole deserves another. Florida's having a little deja vu with a familiar sinkhole. And something's got my head a-scratching. We'll pull the cat back and find out what's crawling around up there on the next Tony and Josh show.
Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Hey, this is episode 84. If you're new to the Tony and Josh show, we're here to inform, entertain, and give you a laugh or two. We've searched the interwebs high and low and found these earth-shaking stories to bring to you tonight.
That's right. Darwin Awards are always fun, but occasionally we have to hand out a Parent of the Year award. We're going to do that tonight for sure. Chris Farley might be dead and gone, but his line of "in a van down by the river" is getting new life, and not in a good way. Jared Fogle is all over the news. We'll find out why here in just a little bit. And one good hole deserves another. Florida has got a new sinkhole. And something's got my head a-scratching. We'll pull the cat back and find out what's crawling around up there coming up in just a minute.
Yeah. We want you guys to give us a call using our SpeakPipe feature on our website, TonyandJosh.com. Tweet us during the show at Tony and Josh Show. And don't forget to include us in your tweets with the hashtag Tony and Josh. If it was Tony and Josh Show, it would be consistent and make sense. So, but we're not doing that.
We're 84 episodes in and we're going to start making sense now?
It shouldn't happen. It's wrong.
No.
So speaking of not happening, not making sense and not happening, we aren't going to make sense, but we are going to make it happen. We're going to get our voicemail in here from Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and I just want to talk about the guy who got in a shootout with an armadillo. Not very smart, because even I know that in Texas, even the rodents conceal and carry. All right, guys, I'll chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sounded like he was driving along there while he was recording that.
Well, it's those birds and crickets every morning that apparently they're flocking now.
Well, Nikki G works the evening shift, so I bet you that was it may have been the evening or around midnight or something his time.
Oh, I know what it was. He was taking another joyride on the bag carousel.
Uh-oh. Oh, the bag carousel. I didn't know what you were talking about there for a second.
I know that little inside baseball there, folks. We both know that Nikki G works at an airport. He works the night shift at one of the local airports there in his hometown. We're not going to go ahead and disclose where that's at for obvious reasons, but yeah, obviously he gets himself into all kinds of fun adventures and probably some trouble too.
He steers the big planes, so
I'm nervous from over here.
Yeah, let that be comfortable. Your comfort the next time you're flying commercial. So we love the reviews, and quite often we are berating you people for not giving us reviews. But tonight,
how dare you?
Tonight we have one of sorts. It's a tweet that was sent to us, and it was a very nice tweet.
Yeah, we got a J.K. Blackwell at J.K. Blackwell. Waiting desperately for the next at Tony and Josh show. Love listening to my boys. All caught up through episode 82. Kendra.
Yeah, because J.K. is actually John, isn't it? So
well, I'm thinking J.K. is John and Kendra.
Oh, okay. I thought K was like maybe the middle name. I don't know how to break it to these two knuckleheads, but Twitter accounts are free, so you can actually each have one. So if you got a story,
that's like holding hands walking down the sidewalk, and and you break to split the pole or something like that. That's just bad luck.
Have you ever seen the back of John's Jeep? Does he have like John on one side?
I
and
saw
Kendra
the back
on the
of
other?
John's head once, but it was in a very precarious position.
Oh, I don't like the way this is going. So if you have a story suggestion, send us an email to newstips@tonyandjosh.com, just like Dusty Dunn has done before many times here, and came up with some stuff that was a little more twisted than your stuff, Josh.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, we got a few story suggestions this week. I want to thank all of you out there who submitted story suggestions, and I can't get to them all. And honestly, I didn't end up picking any one of them for this week, but there's one I'm saving for later. Let's just put it that way.
You mean while you're sitting on the toilet in a bathroom?
Well,
I mean, could you outline what you mean by later?
Well, I could, but we'd probably have to put a different rating on this show.
Okay. So, hey, there's something fun coming up. If you don't think this is fun, something really fun is coming up. October 16th, Walking Dead bonus episodes return.
That's right. Tony and I are huge fans of the AMC's series, The Walking Dead. It's won a lot of awards. It's in their 6th or 7th season now. And, oh boy, man, we are gearing up for one hell of a season. It's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, every week we're going to recap all the happenings, all the goings on in the Walking Dead world as a bonus download for you guys. That's right. An additional little bit of content that we're going to bring to you each and every week for all of our Walking Dead and zombie fans out there. The Walking Dead recap, Tony and Josh style, each and every week returns 3rd week of October.
So, Josh, I got a serious question here for you about.
No, we don't have time for that.
About the Walking Dead and zombies and things.
Yeah.
Do you think zombies? They have blood. I would think. I mean, they're juicy whenever they get decapitated and stuff. If they have blood, do you think that they don't wash their hair? Do you think they'd have head lice?
I would have to say they're crawling with all kinds of things.
That would just have to increase the smell factor by a factor of 10 with just lice covered and hair isn't just on your head too. But anyway,
oh boy,
head lice found resistant to over-the-counter drugs in Texas. Oh, sweet
we've
Jesus.
got super lice now.
This is from my favorite local affiliate, MyFox Houston. This health news may have you scratching your head. I see what they did there. Head lice are becoming more resistant to over-the-counter drugs. Researchers found that the head lice in 4 states, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, and Oregon, Josh,
great.
have developed a partial resistance to over-the-counter drugs containing pyrethrins. I didn't say it right, did I?
Yeah, you did say it right.
I didn't think I got it right. Anyway, it has been found that the prescription medications still work to kill head lice. So they want you to go to the doctor and get the prescription stuff. Why? Because Obama needs the money. The American Chemical Society released the following statement in regards discovering the resistance discovery. Well, we're going to let you go look that up for yourself because that just sounds damn boring to me. Josh, have you been scratching your head more recently?
Well, I'm just crawling over here right now. I've got the heebie-jeebies. No, I think I had lice once when I was a kid. I vaguely remember the little comb and stuff. Well, I was a boy. I was in grade school.
What are you
sharing
now?
hats and rubbing your head on the underside of the slide and putting things where things aren't supposed to go. And
don't go behind the bleachers.
Oh boy. So no, I've got firsthand experience with this, and thankfully my stepson, he didn't ever have any of that happen to him over the years. So. And obviously, he's a little bit too old for that now. From what I remember, this is typically only found in kids, right? I mean, this is
it's anybody with hair.
Well, I mean, you don't hear about adults getting lice too often.
I think adults take care of themselves, their cleanliness better than kids do. I think that's probably why. And also, too, I think kids are more apt to be hugging and being in close proximity to one another, so the little lices can leap from one hair follicle to the next. So I think it's those two things. I think most all adults wash their head on a daily basis. Although I guess there's some cases with weaves and types of hair that you don't.
Oh no, clean, you didn't.
That you don't clean daily. That this probably could be a problem for. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Well, needless to say, if you got dreadlocks out there, you might want to invest in some stronger shampoo.
Get you one of those, chemical spray things, bug spray or whatever, and light it on fire. Take care of all my just scorched earth policy. God,
I sense a new trend coming up. It'll be bald grade schoolers.
bald third-degree burn grade schoolers. So anyway,
so what's this going on in Florida now? I hear now we're going from one side of the nation to the other. From Oregon to Florida, we go, and this is, I guess, a little bit of deja vu.
Yeah. Do you ever watch the PBS stuff? The PBS specials, Nova?
Well, I like Nova.
Yeah.
I've always liked Nova, just because of the way it's done and everything.
Oh, yeah.
But outside of that, most of my PBS programming, I just don't watch it much anymore.
I used to watch a lot of PBS whenever they were showing a lot of the British comedies.
Red Dwarf. Remember that one?
Red Dwarf, very good. But anyway, I saw a special about sinkholes on Nova. I actually recorded the Nova episodes, and they had a very sad story of a man that was killed by a sinkhole because the ground opened up beneath him as he slept, and he was never found. Boy, I need an on-demand echo. So this is the same sinkhole. So new hole opens in ground at site of 2013 Federal, Florida sinkhole. Sometime after the sun came up Wednesday, a woman walking her dog past a fenced-off area in a sleepy suburban neighborhood near Tampa heard a loud rumble. She quickly dialed 911. The earth had opened again.
Dun, dun, dun.
By Wednesday afternoon, a 17-foot wide and 20-foot deep sinkhole had formed exactly in the same place where a man was swallowed up.
I've seen belly buttons bigger than that.
Well, okay. With tattoos and little ornaments on there, I'm sure. The Hillsborough County officials said it's likely the hole opened because of all the recent rains, and such heavy activity isn't uncommon. In March 2013, Jeffrey Bush was asleep in his bedroom on the property when the floor collapsed and he fell in. His body was never recovered. His brother Jeremy Bush was in the house and tried to rescue him, even jumping into the hole. He was rescued by authorities as the ground crumbled around him.
Lord.
Jeremy Bush was seen at the site Wednesday. After the tragedy, I'm having a flashback to what was that movie where the whole house gets pulled into the ground? The girl has psychic abilities. Carrie. Carrie's returning. Ah! So after the tragedy, officials raised the Bush home and two adjacent homes. A sinkhole remediation company filled the hole with gravel, and county officials said the company will study the reopening. Well, you know, the whole
this
sinkhole
Sunday,
problem.
The grand reopening of Sinkhole.
Tonight on Fox. Hell is reaching out. So I get the feeling there's going to be a lot of sinkholes if Hillary Clinton is elected president.
Ooh.
So anyway, it apparently Florida is just right to have all these sinkhole issues. So there's no mystery if you watch the PBS special that I watched as to why it happens in Florida. And of course, there's already a weakness in that area, so it makes sense it would open up again. But could you imagine having your brother staying with you? And I think that if I remember the story right, the brother was actually in one of the kids' bedroom because he was just staying there temporarily. Lost his job or was without work, and he was staying with his brother, and the kid or kids that slept in that bedroom were moved so the brother could stay in there. And
we're talking about taking one for the team.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean, you would like to find the body, but in a way it was kind of good because there was no burial expenses.
Oh, Tony. Wow. You know, there's a silver lining to every cloud.
There is. There's a joke and there's a silver lining in every cloud or sinkhole.
Well, it's going to be hard to find much humor in this story. But,
we can do it.
Have no doubt. Always have faith. Now, one of my most favorite actors of all time is Chris Farley, and he had a skit where he was a traveling salesman who was living in a van down by the river. Now, this definitely hasn't been a slow news week, folks. With everything from wildfires burning half the nation to Subway spokesman Jared Fogle pleading guilty to feeding his 6-inch to a bunch of kids, there couldn't possibly be more Trump in the news, and there's a ton of buzz surrounding the gruesome stabbing of Morgan Freeman's granddaughter. Mm-hmm. Despite all of that, and things like the Beijing bombing and ISIS beheadings, I'm still able to find a story that makes you really question your faith in humanity. This definitely wasn't a flight on a Virgin airline, and now maybe a rename of the movie Flight of the Intruder is also in order. What wasn't ordered was what was thrown at two Pittsburgh children recently. Police are warning the public about a man accused of tossing a paper airplane at 2 children. So what, you may say? Who cares? Kids love paper airplanes. Yeah. Or maybe you're from the camp that kids are just loud, annoying little misbehaving harbingers of germs and debt and probably deserve to have something thrown at them. And maybe you're thinking that they should have been chucking water balloons or maybe softballs. Well, the last one would be closer to what actually happened.
Oh, no.
A white man between the ages of 18 and 25 in a white van allegedly launched a paper airplane at kids while they were playing in their yard on Saturday. The ages of the kids have not been released. Now, on the surface, we've already concluded that this is no big deal. The plane landed in front of the yard. Also, no big deal. Now, I have found far worse in front of an old house I used to live in a much different part of town, I assure you. Now, at first, the kids ignored what was thrown at them, but as it happens with most young ones, curiosity got the best of them and the discovery was made. The little airplane that couldn't was folded from a page of a pornographic adult magazine. Heyo! The kids showed the smutty and hopefully not sticky plane to their parents, who of course called police. Pittsburgh police information officer said earlier this week that, quote, "We're just trying to alert residents to someone who may be doing something suspicious around children." Suspicious? This is a guy in a van, hunting kids, using pornographic paper planes. Now, the next step for this guy is writing free candy on the side of his van, and next thing you know, little Susie goes missing. So anyone with information about the incident is asked to contact Pittsburgh Police at 412-665-3605.
Now, is that Pittsburgh or Pittsburgh? Because it sounded like Pittsburgh.
You know, I can't enunciate. I can barely read. It's any wonder I can get my tongue moving enough to form cohesive sentences.
That's why we're a couple of knuckleheads and a couple of incompetent boobs with a podcast, because nobody will pay us to do it. So I just thought it was funny. It sounded like Pittsburgh. So, what if you're going to go out hunting kids, is it really a wise thing to buy a van? I mean, it's just...
Right. You'd figure you'd want to be a little bit less inconspicuous. Or a little bit less conspicuous. Rather.
I don't want to lay out a plan for anybody, but
certainly not.
Get a Suburban and block out the windows from the inside, and just get something that isn't a white paneled van. I mean, that just
right, like
it is. It's only missing the free candy.
Now, for instance, I use an ice cream truck, but that's just me.
Is there actually ice cream, or is that a lie too?
No, of course not.
Oh, don't even get ice cream. That sucks.
Nothing but duct tape and zip ties.
Well, duct tape has a kind of a nice effect. It'll kind of give you a little buzz, a little high.
Does this smell like chloroform to you?
Thud. So, speaking of white panel vans and duct tape, sadly, and I say sadly because, the guy is getting what he deserves, or actually I guess he will be getting what he deserves here in the near future. But I always liked Jared. I thought it was great. Here's this fat kid that lost a bunch of weight, and he lost a bunch of weight, and he got a job in the process with Subway. So it's just really sad to see. I guess the child pornography thing is a lot bigger than what we know. I just can't imagine, especially with somebody that's on television and is making good money, I would suspect.
Yeah, you'd think.
You would think there'd be a lot of women available.
Well, yeah. He is married and has kids.
But still, he could still be getting it outside that. I didn't know he had kids. That's horrible.
Yeah. So there's been a lot of news. I've actually heard a lot about this. I've got a long commute, and I typically listen to news in the morning and stuff like that. So this, of course, has been everywhere you turn because, come on, Subway is a global brand. Mm-hmm. And Jared, being a spokesperson for a global icon, is obviously going to be in the news.
Don't you have a "Do you touch children" questionnaire before you become a spokesperson for a company? Honestly, I could see where he might have lied about that, but still, there should have been some vetting process. But anyway, from pitchman to prison, Subway's Jared Fogle intends, I guess he already did, to plead guilty to child sex, faces prison and fines. Prison's not so bad, but the fines would be bad because you want money when you get out. The stunning fall of Jared Fogle, who turned an unconventional college diet into a career as Subway's ubiquitous pitchman, ends Wednesday after prosecutors said he informed the court and their office that he intends to plead guilty to having sex with a minor and possessing child pornography. It said minor. I thought that would be minors. Prosecutors allege that Fogle knew the pornography had been secretly produced by the former director of his charitable foundation, which sought to raise awareness about childhood obesity, and arranged for Fogle to visit schools and urge children to adopt healthy eating and exercise habits. Fogle sat in court with his hands clasped and quietly answered no when the judge asked whether he had any questions about his rights. He is expected to enter the formal plea at a later date to 1 count each of traveling to engage in illicit sexual conduct with a minor and distribution of a receipt of child pornography. just absolutely horrible. I mean,
14 counts.
What is it? What is it that causes
counts.
people to want to either have sex with children or to look at children in sexual positions? Or, I mean, God, grown-ups are just so much better looking.
I look, there's a lot of people out there that are wired really messed up. And Jared seemed, for all intents and purposes, like a completely normal, salt of the earth kind of guy.
Bit
and that
dorky,
just goes to show you. Well, it just goes to show you what's hiding underneath the surface. Now, who knows if it was fame and fortune that caused his downfall? I don't know. But what I do know is that over the years he managed to find himself a wife and he got himself a couple of kids. Not
what
like
do you mean?
this.
What do you mean? What have you heard?
So, and it was announced today also that his wife is filing for a dissolution of the marriage and is asking for the utmost of privacy, as her sole focus is the well-being of her two children. So, now whether or not these kids are genetically his or not, I don't know. I don't know much about the life of Jared Fogle other than he was fat, he exercised, he ate some sandwiches, and now he's skinny. And he made
lots of money.
And what I do know is that he ended up lucking out quite a bit. I mean, obviously he worked very hard to get where he was at. He's not there anymore. He's now going to be looking at a 10 by 10 cell. But no, I mean this is a fall from grace in the utmost of sense, because this was somebody who you saw on TV, who you heard on the radio, who was synonymous with a global brand. And now they're going to be looking for somebody to take their place. I will happily step in, Subway, as your new spokesman. I've been looking for a national chain to
you'd
get
just
behind.
be doing it for the free food.
Well,
I know you. You just want some reason to eat. Plus, you wouldn't have to fix it. You could just pick it up on the way home.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I actually used to work for Subway. I worked for Subway in 2 different states for 3 years as a kid. And it was interesting. Don't regret it. Certainly learned a lot, but
they have an amazing product, and they have like 59 cents invested in equipment, because it's like a microwave, something that heats up for the bread, and then all this cold. I mean, it's really, as far as I don't know how much it costs to have a Subway store, to get a franchise, but
not a lot.
But at least for the equipment and stuff, it seems like, I just kind of, as they're making my sandwiches and asking me questions about the sandwich, I'll look around and I'll see what they have there, and there's not a big investment in stuff, so it sounds like a pretty sweet deal for both Subway and anybody that wanted to do a franchise. I love Subway, so I'll keep eating there. I'm just hoping that Jarrett never worked in any Subways where I've eaten, because I kind of hate the idea of putting my mouth on something he touched.
Oh boy. I'm not even going to go there.
I mean,
it's
come on.
Easy,
you're
too
thinking
easy
it.
And so wrong on so many levels. No.
And I normally get the 12-incher. So there you go.
I bet you do.
Cut it in half and have 2 meals. So, I was just looking here online to see if I could get a look at Jared's wife. But it's mostly just Jared. They have lots of pictures of Jared up here, which is
I'm
kind of
sure
scary.
She's buried way back on page 26.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, this is some other disturbing news that I had to bring to you guys, because there's nothing like ending the Tony and Josh show on a high note. Like I said earlier in the show about the Darwin Awards and everything, we occasionally highlight stupid criminal stories and stuff like this, and this one almost kind of falls between Stupid Criminal and Darwin Award, and I'm going to call it the Parent of the Year Award, and it goes to. Well, you'd think that a story coming from me with the title Parent of the Year Award would be coming out of a place like Florida or Germany. Seems like them two are always up to some weird stuff. No, this one is coming from our brethren to the north, Canada, but does have some U.S. roots. It started off as any family vacation does, waking up in the hotel room, ready to see the sights. The blinds were drawn open and the morning sunlight bathed the room in its warm glow. All was good in this particular Howard Johnson hotel this last Tuesday morning when things suddenly and inexplicably took a turn for the worse. At the front desk, the manager, who was busily attending to the morning's responsibilities, saw the couple from across the lobby, obviously panicked and in distress. Not something you typically want to see in the lobby of a hotel, especially on free shrimp night. The couple were approached by the cleaning staff. The cleaning staff called the maintenance man, and that's when the maintenance man's day turned into one that he would not soon forget. What he saw was not nearly important as what he heard, and what he heard was not nearly important as where he heard it from. Wailing could be heard down the hallway of the 4th floor as the man approached the room. Just what was going on became abundantly clear as he rounded the threshold. The Howard Johnson room safe was crying. Ordinarily, in my experience, safes don't cry. I've heard them beep, click, and occasionally squeak when opened, and I've heard them be really, really quiet. But I've never heard a room safe cry. That sounds like something from a Dumbo movie. Within 20 minutes, the experienced maintenance man had cracked the safe and retrieved the treasure locked inside, a 6 to 10-month-old crying baby. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but the proper way to quiet a colicky baby is with gentle, soothing sounds, warmth, and maybe a little rocking action. Sometimes the assistance of a binky is in order. Or if you're like my parents, a little Benadryl and a stiff whiskey num-num on the baby gum seems to do the trick. But throwing the kid into the room safe and locking the door, I mean, come on. Just how the baby ended up locked inside the cramped 1-foot-tall, 20-inch-wide box that's locked and unlocked with a 4-digit code is beyond investigators. A language barrier prevented the staff from finding out exactly what happened despite their attempts. The family, who were simply described as Asian, left the hotel before cops arrived, leaving more questions than answers. And now, investigators want to make sure the child is okay. Niagara Regional Police is asking the public to be on the lookout for a gray Ford passenger van with the New Jersey license plate B31EUB. Niagara Police alerted the New York Police Department, but still have not yet located the family. Not a way you want to really start off your vacation, in my experience and in my opinion, and certainly not the way that you would handle a crying baby. Now, honestly, I don't know why they put the kid in the safe. If they did put the kid in the safe, investigators are saying that it's really unlikely that a less than 1-year-old child
didn't crawl in there,
crawled into the safe and then locked it with a 4-digit code from the inside, which is not possible. So obviously there may be some charges here when the people try to cross the border. There is a nationwide lookout. So New York is on the hunt. Border Patrol is on the hunt. These people are definitely going to be held accountable for this. So, but yeah, really, really disturbing news coming out of Canada.
In 99.99% of the cases, children are gifts from God. I can't believe how anybody would want to do harm to one, especially whenever there's so many ways that you can just take a baby and hand them to somebody and where they will be taken care of. I don't know if it's the same way where you are, Josh, but if you not only say don't want the child, if you can't take care of the child properly and you can't even take care of yourself and you don't want your child to suffer, you can always take the baby to a fire department or a police station here in the Houston area, and they will take it, no questions asked. You can't leave the baby outside the fire department. You actually have to, knock on the door and hand it over. Yep. And they
here,
people
you've
understand.
Just been served.
Yeah. Oh my God, my wife is going to kill me. No, I don't know you. This is just, I'm just, giving you the baby because I can't take her. Oh, thank God.
Because there was that one night.
Well, especially,
Bangkok, I don't know.
Yeah. You remember that story we did about Ashley Madison a number of shows ago? They released that information on the dark net today.
I forgot to follow up with that one.
Yeah, I saw a news story this evening about that where I think there was like 300 Houston employees had used their public works or whatever it was, their Houston email addresses to register on Ashley Madison.
Why would you? Oh my goodness.
Well, because you don't want the wife to find out, or the husband. So I'm sorry, or your life partner. So anyway, just horrible. And don't ever just leave your kids someplace. Don't let them play in the street when they're 3 years old.
And
take
for God's
care of
sake,
them.
don't ever let them go into Subway alone.
Don't let them go in the Subway alone. Don't let Jarrett come to talk to him, even after he gets out of the big house. So I see we have a few minutes left here, just a couple. So I thought I'd bring everybody up to date on Ceres. We've spoken a number of times about Ceres. And this is kind of interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Ceres is the dwarf planet that NASA sent the, I believe, Dawn spacecraft out to investigate.
That's right.
And there was 2 large white spots on there.
There's been all kinds of buzz as to what those white spots are, what they could be. Everything from space sugar to big ice field to all sorts of interesting and fun.
I'm still
guests.
going along with the creamy nougat center. But this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you've heard about this or not, Josh, because I didn't hear about it until actually I read it here on the screen. The mysterious white spots on Ceres have stepped up their game. From certain angles at certain times of the day, they apparently produce a haze that partially covers their crater.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, at some point, some parts in the day, I guess, with the sun and everything, what they're saying is like this might be some sort of evaporative action, and this may not be water ice. This could be like frozen nitrogen or something like that. And as the sun heats this up, this gas kind of starts off, coming up from this ice patch, if that is what it is. And kind of creates this haze, this fog that kind of hangs low in the crater. It's very, very interesting.
So it says, if the observations are confirmed, it suggests the odd markings are ice directly sublimating, evaporating into the crater filling haze. The bright white spots speckle Ceres, but the haze only appears over Oxidor crater. Places Ceres are named for agricultural gods. Well, of course, that's what people do. And so this is rather interesting. If it does turn out to be water ice, I've said it before, we possibly have a nice little place to land a ship of some sort and to start extracting rocket fuel. All you need is a little power, probably nuclear at that distance. And you can start splitting that ice. If it's ice water, you can start splitting it into hydrogen and oxygen, which we all know, all those kids know, is rocket fuel.
Yeah, that's right. Now, very interesting. I would love to get a hold of NASA and find out if they are already planning a mission to get a probe out there. I mean, we sent one by to take pictures. Now I think we need to send one down.
Well, this one's in orbit. It's not going by. It's not like Pluto. This one's in orbit.
Oh, that's right. No, they did. Yeah. Well, no, it was a 16-week mission, and then it was supposed to go elsewhere.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right, because it has the ion propulsion, so they can actually move it on someplace else. That's correct. But it's not. It wasn't just a flyby. They were actually able to orbit and do a lot more science.
Yeah.
than
I was confusing the Pluto mission which was flying by.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain about the Pluto mission, but it would be really cool if we could have just orbited and stayed on station.
Just a couple of trips around.
Well, they got to go so fast to get out there. It's you have to drive a bus to be able to slow everything down, carrying the fuel to slow stuff down. So anyway, some interesting information, and I'm still hoping for that creamy nougat center. That would be just a Candyland dream. So anyway, gee,
I don't think there's going to be any chutes or ladders up there.
I've never played that game.
You said Candyland. I go to Chutes and Ladders. I just, it's what do they call that? Like a Rorschach test or whatever. What's the first word that comes to mind?
I guess so.
Well, the first word that comes to mind when you hear Tony and Josh should be TonyandJosh.com. It's where you guys want to go to check out our entire show archive. We have it there for you. All 83, 84 episodes and counting are there for your guys' downloading pleasure. 100% free. We're bringing the show to you each and every week. So guys, make sure that you subscribe. We're on iTunes. We're on Stitcher Radio. We're on TuneIn. We're all over the web. Make sure you subscribe to the feed so you do not miss a thing. Very important to do as we approach October.
I like to say we're everywhere you want to be. And I've been saying that was American Express. It's not. It's Visa.
Oh, you're right.
I was thinking it was American Express. American Express had another saying several years ago, and I'll have to go look that up and find out what it is. But yes, we are everywhere you want to be, as long as it's in a darkened room with a microphone in front of your face and multiple screens giving you a suntan. So if that's where you want to be, that's where we are. So anyway, join us next week. Join us every week and for the Tony and Josh show. We're really enjoying this show. Doing the show. Hopefully you're enjoying listening to it, and we hope you enjoyed just a little bit more during the bonus segments with The Walking Dead, which will be coming up really, really soon. Looking forward to it, Josh. I'm hoping they keep up the pace of the show. I'm hoping that they don't slow down.
Well, they went through cycles every year. It
was slow.
Yeah,
it was slow until about last season or the one before that, and they sped it up a bit.
Yeah, well,
that's my opinion.
Guys, if you have an opinion about the show, we want to know about it. Send in those reviews. You can do it through any one of the channels I've listed before, or you can always send us an email to newstips@tonyandjosh.com. Of course, if you have a story suggestion, you can send it to the same place. And if you don't have, or you're not subscribed to iTunes or anything like that, you want to leave us a review, you can send it to that newstips@tonyandjosh.com as well.
So, Josh, I'm thinking that Ceres would make a great criminal planet to send all our criminals to, or perhaps just the ones that do things to children. We could just send them out there, they could fend for themselves, and we wouldn't have to worry about them touching anything but ice or whatever that stuff is in those craters. What do you think?
Well, it's certainly a good plan.
And, the next thing you know, you got Australia in space.
Pigs in space!
See you guys later. Have a great night.